So if you just purchased your first live sonar bundle, in this case we have the Garmin LVS34 106 bundle. We're going to go through a couple tips, tricks, settings that should help you perform a little bit better out on the ice. First thing, there's going to be two orientations for Garmin. There's going to be a forward and there's going to be a down mode that we're going to use while we're ice fishing. To change that, we're going to pull up our transducer. Right now we have it in the forward mode. Transducer is tipped up a notch. To turn it to down, we're going to loosen this knob and turn it completely horizontal. Here on this HD pole, there is going to be a little tick mark to line up right with this white dot right here. The middle one is going to be our down, and then if we loosen this, there's one right here. This is going to be our forward. So when we're in the forward mode, when we drop this down, our Garmin is going to auto orientate itself to be in auto settings forward. Now our 0 is going to be right up here above this big 0 right now. That's where our transducer is sitting. We have a grid out here, and that is directionally forward from where our transducer is facing, and we have a grid down here, and that's going to be our depth that we're fishing in. In this case, we're on a pretty flat bottom, so we can see there's a little bit of drop off there, and it goes shallower a little bit this way, but not much. To turn in down mode, when we pull this up, change it to down. Give it a second, and our Garmin is going to auto calibrate itself to the down mode. Now our transducer is going split left and right. Our 0 is right here in the center. This is what we're going to use if you're in a hard house fishing or a portable setup, and a couple of guys are probably going to be using the same screen. All right, so once you get it out of the box and you get it out on the ice, there's a couple settings that I think will elevate your live scope game. A couple of those are going to be right here. So right here in this bottom right corner, we got 3 dots. Those are our menu button keys. So when we press this, we're going to get our menu for what we're looking at on our screen. In this case, it's the live scope. First thing I want to do is I want to go into my sonar setup. Every time there is a right arrow, there is a page behind it. So when you press this, first thing I want to do is I want to change my layout, because I'm not a big fan of the grid. So when we go into layout, I can hide that grid overlay. I think it brightens up that screen. I think it just makes it a lot easier to see. Now we can do one of two things. We can exit and go right back to our live scope screen just like that, and we can go back in here, sonar setup. I like to change the appearance just a little bit. So when we go into this appearance tab, the first thing I want to do is I want to change my color gain. So what our color gain is going to be, right now everything's kind of a darker red to a lighter orange. If I turn that color gain up, everything gets really hot. Everything gets a bolder color to it, so it's more depth. Biggest thing this is going to do for you is it's going to make your jig, it's going to make any kind of fish have a bigger body to it. So it's going to be easier to define and to see. We can just back right out of there, and if you'd like to, we can go right into our color scheme, and you can go through the entire list of color palettes that Garmin has to offer. Pick one that you like the best. My favorite is amber. I think this is going to give the best detail to what you're going to see out of your fish. The second most popular one is probably going to be down here in the blue. This is what you see a lot of guys running. This makes all of your marks pop out with that high contrast from blue to red. So it's very easy to identify fish in open water. They're going to stand out very easy for you. Other than that, there's a couple more things right here on screen. We do have our gain adjustment. So just like if you're familiar with using a Vexilar or anything like that, the higher we turn this, the smaller the particles we're going to pick up. So I like to run this down in the 60s. Usually it's in the mid 60s. Depending on the depth, your jig, everything like that will depend on if you run a little bit higher or lower from that. But that's the biggest things I do right out of the box. You will see some people that go in here under their sonar setup and play with their TVG. They will play with their noise reject. I like to usually leave these on low or off. The more noise rejection, and TVG is time varying gain, the higher you have these, the slower and more delay you're going to have with your jig and the fish. So it will, if you're fishing with a bunch of people, it will give you a little bit better screen clarity if you're running with interference, but it is going to slow down the processor of your unit overall. So you can play around with those, but in my opinion, I would leave them on low or off. All right, last thing I'm going to touch on, in the addition to just running your live scope on a full screen, these Garmin's do come with pre-built mapping built into it. How you're going to access that is this home button right here in the bottom on the middle. We're going to go into our chart tab here, and we're going to hit our fishing chart. Our fishing chart is what's going to give us our lake contours. So we can see all of our contours, we can see where we are. You know, if we wanted to add a waypoint, it's very easy to tap your screen, add waypoint, and we've got a waypoint created right here. So that'll stay on our screen until we want it off, as well as you can make a combination screen. So if you are hole hopping around, you want to use your live scope and your chart and not be able to flip-flop screens, you can go again under your home to our combos tab. And if we wanted to make another one, all we do is hit add combo. Right here is our adjustment bar. We can adjust this left and right depending on where we want to have it. Press here to place. We're going to place our chart on that left side. So I want to fill that in with my fishing chart. This right side, I want to fill that in with my live scope. Once we've done that, we can hit done, and it's going to be saved. If I wanted this to be one of my hotkeys here on the side, I can press and hold on which one I'd like it to be. And now this screen orientation is saved to number 3. Right now my number 1 is my full live scope, 2 is my chart, and then if I want to run those split, I can just go right down to number 3, and I can just toggle between all 3 of those right there. If you have any other comments or questions for us, leave in the comments below, and we'll be sure to answer them best we can.